Hello and welcome to another episode with Matthew. I am back with another episode too. Who we have coming on the channel today is Jackson Police Chief Wade. He's from Terry, Mississippi. He has been on the Jackson Police Department for 29 years and police chief for almost 2 years. He's 53, a God-fearing man, loves his family, community, well-spoken, and handles press conferences like no other. The one, the only. Here he is, Chief Joseph Wade. How you doing, Chief?
Hey man, thank you so much for having me on your platform. Thank you for that wonderful introduction. I started looking around to see who you were talking about. You were talking about me, huh?
Yes, I am.
But look, thank you so much. It's been an absolute honor to serve the citizens of Jackson as police chief for the past almost 2 years now. But also my 29 years of total service to the Jackson Police Department, the city of Jackson, is something that I'm very, very proud of and look forward to that continued service.
Yes, because I was one of your press conferences before I came in here, and I was like, "Wow, he's well spoken, like
Thank
a
you.
chief." And I actually know Lucinda Wade,
Yeah, my
Maggie
family,
Wade.
Maggie. Yeah, those are my cousins. They're
I
very,
was just with Maggie Wade on this previous questions.
yeah. Maggie set a very high bar for us, But I saw her. I mean, I was a kid, in middle school and high school in Terry, and I saw Maggie on TV, and she really inspired me that I could one day do great things. So she always tell me how proud she is of me. But I saw it in her to begin with. It really truly inspired me. So it's an honor to be able to carry on that legacy, and also just to inspire others as well.
I would like to interview Maggie Wade. She
Uh,
says she had to get permission, so I definitely, if you can put a good word in for me, I would definitely like to
Absolutely,
interview her.
absolutely.
So we're going to start this off. What are your top priorities as police chief for the community?
Well, I have a lot of priorities, but like I tell my team all the time, everything can't be your priority. You have to put things in place and also have goals that are attainable, that you can reach. And the biggest thing is that we have to have a strategic approach to reduce violent crimes here in the city of Jackson. That is truly decimating and destroying so many families here in the city of Jackson. So violent crimes is a huge initiative of mine. Building community trust, because there's been a huge distrust between law enforcement as a whole. And I want to make sure that the community trusts me. They believe in my direction, and they pick up the phone and they call me every single day about things that are going on in the community. That tells me that we've turned the corner and they trust the Jackson Police Department, and specifically that they trust me. But also, we have to build partnerships with the community. We've been doing that with our Youth Citizens Police Academy. We've been doing it with our Citizens Police Academy, our Clergy Police Academy. We've been working in lockstep with our state partners, Department of Public Safety, Capitol Police, Highway Patrol, MBI, MBN. But more importantly, we've been getting federal resources here in the city of Jackson through working with the U.S. Attorney's Office, Jackson FBI, DEA, U.S. Marshals. We have detectives on every federal task force. That is resources that we have had that have been untapped, and now we're tapped into those resources.
So picking back off the children, especially when it comes to crime, my first ever video was giving away 100 boxes of pizza at Van Winkle Elementary School, because it started when you're young. They say it started at the house, but they with the teachers 8 hours more than they with their own parents. So you definitely have to come and impact the children wherever you can.
Yes. That really touches my heart, because I have been coaching and mentoring kids here in the city of Jackson through youth basketball for the past 18 years, through youth basketball. And you'll see some of the trophies inside the gym and the banners where we won 4 city championships.
Yes.
But it's not about just wins and losses. It's about teaching these young men discipline, by showing them how to deal with conflict. Because if you don't, they could lose their life out here in the streets. Showing them how great they are,
Right.
that they have excellence and greatness within them, and that the world is a lot bigger than just their block in their current circumstances. So I'm very excited about what we're doing with the youth. And you just tapped on something that's very important to me. Teachers, man, some of the most influential people in my life were my school teachers.
Talk about it, Chief.
Very influential. And through God's grace and mercy, my son is a middle school teacher.
Mm-hmm.
He's a school teacher. I never would have thought it, but through God's grace, he graduated from Jackson State University, and now he's a school teacher. And I told him the responsibility that comes along with that. you have the opportunity to invoke change. And it's always that one kid with that one voice that can change the world. And whatever you can do to help pay it forward and move it forward, you have a huge responsibility, and do not take that lightly.
And sliding to that question that you was just talking about, what strategies are you using to help your officers build relationship with the other citizens of Jackson?
Oh, that's huge. We have to. And we talk about community policing. I know that's a strategy that's been around a long time. It's a policing concept, but we've got to do more. You know, community policing is not just a strategy at the Jackson Police Department. To me, it's interwoven into our DNA, because if we don't have that community trust, we're not working in lockstep with the community. As soon as something bad happens, we'll have protests, we'll have marches.
Yes.
But now we have that trust with the community. Chief, I know you're going to hold that officer accountable. They call and tell me that. They trust me to mitigate the situation. And I owe that strategy to my mentor, the late Sheriff Chief Lee Vance. You know, he talked to me and trained myself and the sheriff up as to how you build goodwill with the community, where they trust you. And I'm just working from the Lee Vance playbook because I owe so much to him. But it means a lot to me to have the trust of the community, that they know when something bad happens, I'm going to talk about it.
Right.
When something good happens, I'm going to talk about it. And when we make a mistake, then we're going to take ownership and responsibility of it, and we're going to hold that individual accountable for his or her actions here at the Jackson Police Department.
Yeah, how is your department utilizing technology, combat crime, and improving public safety? Because I know I see a lot of cameras up on poles, and I see I have those boxes around just in different locations.
Yeah. We are changing the whole philosophy of how we police in the city of Jackson. Let me put that out there. The first component is the community policing aspect. Community engagement, working with the community through our schools, businesses, churches, community groups, and organizations, right? The next component is that strategic approach through collaboration I talked about on the local, county, state, and federal level. Now, the third component is utilizing technology, which is a force multiplier. But not only using the technology, we have to share that technology as well with our other law enforcement partners. So we have so much technology, and it is so advantageous to us. There are the blue light surveillance cameras that are recording and being monitored through our real-time command center. We're pushing out information in real time to our detectives, to our patrol officers. We're recording footage, documenting it, placing it with the case file, which is absolutely amazing. We are now rolling out our license plate readers. Now, they're more of a stealth approach, a covert approach. You're not going to know where they are, but they're going to be taking pictures of you in your car, right? And we're going to be looking for stolen vehicles, carjacked vehicles, vehicles used in crimes, and also wanted people. License plate reader, once that tag hit, is going to snap a picture and let us know where you are or where that stolen vehicle is. Very strategic. Now, that's one of the things that I asked for from the city council. They did approve it. So now we have 16 that are being rolled out right now as we speak. Of course, you know, we have the body cameras. We have the dash cameras in police vehicles now. So when the blue lights come on, the dash cam comes on as well. Again, we have to utilize technology. It's 21st century law enforcement technology, and we have to utilize that. And it's smart policing. Smart policing. But also, we utilize the technology during my real-time command meetings. We're putting up on the board where crime is happening. We're plotting where crime is happening. We're looking at it, and we come up with a strategic approach to address it in that particular area. I tell my team all the time, I don't need you just admiring a problem, memorializing a problem, idolizing a problem. I need you solving the problem. And I hold them to a certain standard, and the standard is the standard.
Crime has definitely dropped.
It has, yeah.
And I really kind of admire you just, saying that. And it kind of touched the youth, because I talked about it earlier with Ariel Robson. She said that crime has definitely dropped. So it's kind of like, she took one of the questions I wanted, but she was like, those questions won't apply to Jackson, Mississippi due to the crime rate has dropped.
Yeah. Well, let me say this here too. Crime was reduced in 2024. We had a 23% reduction in crime. We had a reduction in homicides. We had an 81% solvability rate of homicides. That's unheard of. 81% solvability rate. That's because we had 40 plus officers returned to the Jackson Police Department. Now we have the human capital, we have the human resources. More importantly, we have the people with the educational background, the institutional knowledge, and the advanced law enforcement skills to solve these cases. It wasn't that I'm going to get out here and have a victory lap or hand out participation trophies, because we have so much further to go.
Right.
I envision that we're going to have a tremendous drop with all the things that we have in place on the state, the federal level to address crime here in Jackson. But more importantly, we have federal resources on the ground here in Jackson. And I'm just excited about the community. I'm so excited about the love that I get when I'm out in the community. I give a lot of people hope, because a lot of people have, for a while they were hopeless. And that's a bad place to be in when you don't even have hope that we're going to get it right. So I know that I carry the weight of the city on my back every single day. And that means a lot to me, that I'm out in the community, I'm touching the community, I'm communicating with the community, and I'm sharing the information, whether it's good or bad.
And it was a mouthful, but impactful. That brings me to my next question. How does your department support dealing with stress and trauma from their work?
Yeah, and that's a huge issue. That's a huge issue.
I want to hear about
because I say this all the time. I'm not just concerned about productivity for my police officers.
Mm-hmm.
I feel that we have the best police officers in the state of Mississippi. And I'm not just saying that based on a straw poll. I'm saying that because I belong to the Mississippi Chiefs of Police Association. When I go to these conferences, I normally have chiefs around me, and they are asking me about stuff that we're doing in Jackson, because they see that we are forward thinking. They see that we're taking a strategic approach to deal with crime fighting. It's not a whack-a-mole approach. Hey, I deal with this because it's on the news today, or I deal with this. No, it's more strategic than that.
Right.
You don't chop a tree down by hitting it in 5 different spots. You chop it down by hitting it in the same spot over and over again. I'm from the country, so I do understand how you chop a tree down. Terry, Mississippi, exactly. But I'm concerned about these police officers' physical well-being, their mental well-being, and their emotional well-being. When I went through the FBI NAA leadership certification course last year, I completed it. Thank God. It was tough. I had to write a long 11-page paper at the completion of that class, but it was well worth it. That you achieved something that really meant something. But we talked about police officers specifically, and I have lost friends on this department who committed suicide. 2 of my academy classmates committed suicide. That went through this police academy with me. So I know the trauma that these officers deal with every single day. They see the worst that society has to offer, as well as our firefighter brothers and sisters here in the city of Jackson. They see the worst that society has to offer. What I tell my team all the time, and specifically my director here at the training academy, if we don't focus on these officers' well-being right now, then those officers got to focus on their illnesses later. And I don't want that. So I want some type of wellness program that we've talked about through the academy here, where these officers are getting physically fit. I'm not trying to make them, some Adonis where they can compete in competition, but just have a program where you can walk or, have the ability to talk to someone when you're dealing with trauma. That's very important to me. Now, of course, physical fitness is an individual, responsibility or something that, you think is important. I myself, I get up around 6 o'clock every day, and I have a location that I go to, and I clear my head. I'm out there on that track, and it gives me time to process the day. But also I know that it's also extending my life, because as you stated, I'm 53 years old, and every year I'm getting older, right?
Yes.
But God has blessed me, because for the past 15 years, I have been officiating high school basketball and football, all right? I am a high school football official, and I have been on the football field for the past 15 years. So at 53, I can still keep up with 16 and 17-year-olds through God's grace and mercy. You didn't know that, did you?
No, I did not know that.
Yeah, I have officiated high school football games from West Point, Mississippi, Starkville, Olive Branch, Senatobia, to Port Gibson, to Greenwood, Greenville, JPS, Lake Mississippi, Mount Olive, Mississippi. And it's just an honor to be out there on the field with these young men. You get a chance to impact them, interact with them, and I absolutely enjoy it.
So I have so many people that I do want to interact because not only that my channel is about, talking to different professional people about podcasts, is also giving. I recently gave to a church 70 gift cards. They church holds 70 members, $100 a piece to a school. And I want to keep that trend going. Picking back off the trauma, a lot of people don't understand. A lot of people deal with past trauma, childhood trauma, and us being on the scene holding profession when the citizens are definitely, coming at
Mm-hmm.
us, and we have to hold a certain standard to not, use
Yes.
force on them.
Mm-hmm.
Because I work for the Jackson Fire Department, so I
Yes.
know we be out there, we fighting fire, and they come at us like,
Yes.
I know your things are in there burning up, but right now we have to save
Yes.
what we can save. So
Yes.
that bring
And this is the thing, and I'm probably going to share something with you that I hadn't shared with many people. When you talk about trauma, it's not just impacting that generation, it causes generational trauma. My father's father, my grandfather, was killed in an act of violence. And I could see my father carry that with him his whole entire life, right? That's generational trauma. I never met my grandfather, but to see the pain in my father when he talked about him, it creates generational trauma. So we have to be aware of that. We have to make sure that people get the help that they need to deal with it because it never goes away. So we're talking about generational trauma. I've met with so many mothers since I've been the chief. So many mothers that have lost their sons to gun violence here in the city of Jackson. And it may be 4 or 5 years since they lost their son, but it seemed like it was yesterday because they're so traumatized and they just break down in tears and they're just so thankful that I'm sitting there to listen. But guess what? They don't have to thank me. I'm just honored that you trust me enough to sit here and talk about them and do everything I can to bring you some closure or resolution to you and your family because that's generational trauma that family will always think about. And this violence don't just impact them. I've seen it absolutely destroy families. Gun violence, when they lose a son, when they lose a daughter, that mother is traumatized and is horrible and it's tragic. And I just want to make sure we do our part at the Jackson Police Department to bring down some closure. And that's why we do now have a cold case unit with the detectives that we're able to bring back. They can go back and investigate these older cases. We have one that we're probably going to be breaking over the next week. That's an old case that we're going to be solving, and I can't wait to roll that out.
You explained that very well, which brings me to this question. Because the crime rate has dropped. So how has the department been successful since you became the fire chief? I mean the police chief.
Fire chief now too.
Police chief.
But you know what? There's several metrics and measurables that I use, right? The first thing is for me to make sure these officers know how valuable they are. Not only to me, we now have an awards program that we have every quarter where we recognize the men and women for the great work that they do. Every speech I give in the community, whether it's at a church, a banquet, or a gala, whatever, I bring them greetings from the hardworking men and women of the Jackson Police Department, right? It's not about me. It's about the men and women who wear the gun and badge every single day and put their lives on the line every single day. It's about them. So first of all, let them know how important they are. Also, let the citizens know that you hear them.
Yes.
You hear them. You know what's going on with them in the community. You're not tone deaf to what the issues are in the community. And the community has thanked me for just being honest and transparent that we have a gang issue in the city of Jackson. How can you run away from that when it's the facts? And I have mothers telling me we have a gang problem. So recognizing what the problems are, coming up with a strategic approach to deal with it. Listen to the officers, listen to the community. And like I tell my officers and I tell the community, we are far from perfect. When an officer has an issue, we look at whether it's a training issue, a policy issue, or individual issue. Then I will make the decision on how to deal with it. And it won't be an emotional decision. It'll be the right decision. And to quote Martin Luther King, it's always the right time to do what's right. And it's about simply doing what's right. And because at the end of the day, it's about protecting the brand and the reputation of the Jackson Police Department. The city of Jackson's been here since 1822. The first record of a paid Jackson police officer was 1863. So that makes my 29 years look like I'm just passing through in the grand scheme of things. But it's important for us to maintain the integrity of the organization. And that's what I want to make sure that we do. And we have the credibility and the reputation within the community that people care. And they care about their police officers, and they give us what we need to do our jobs. And they do that by voting and putting pressure on their council peoples and state senators and legislators to give us the tools that we need to be efficient.
Think about, everything you just said. When it comes down to y'all having to sit up there with the council and the mayor and actually ask for raises to actually see the success that the department going through, and not only we giving that to the equipment we have, the vehicles we have on the street, the backdrop that a lot of people don't see that we actually talk amongst ourselves about is kind of like, why do we struggle to receive raises that we deserve due to the hard work we put in the city of Jackson?
Yes.
From the police department and the fire department.
Yeah. Well, I'm a different type of chief, right? And I'm probably more like that kid you see in the grocery store when the mama, daddy trying to drag them out and they're still kicking, fighting, and screaming. That's how I am when it comes to these police officers. I tell them all the time, I'm fighting for them when they don't even know that I'm fighting for them, right? And I fight for them by asking for competitive pay for them. We have to be competitive with Pearl, Brandon, Ridgeland, Capitol Police, Clinton, Byron, because we lost so many people to those agencies. But guess what? They pivoted and came back because my police officers, the wonderful men and women of JPD, have gotten not one but two pay raises since I've been the chief. Two pay raises. And guess what? When budget cycle comes around again, I'll be kicking and scratching and clawing again to get pay raises again. But also, we need vehicles. We don't walk to calls. We don't get vehicles through osmosis. So I requested vehicles. We got 15 new vehicles that will display the new color, the new look of the Jackson Police Department that will roll out next month. Very excited about that. No longer will we have the orange stripe. It's going to be back to the traditional blue and white. Very excited about that. But we need the tools to get the job done. You can't police in 2025 by doing things like we did in 1995 when I came on. You have to utilize technology. You have to have the manpower. And they have to have the tools to do their job, just like our brothers and sisters with the fire department.
Exactly. That's why I kind of confused you with the fire chief, because I'm actually doing his interview coming soon. So
Great.
The last question I do have for you, what do you have in store for the city of Jackson?
Excellence, power, and greatness. Right? Excellence, power, and greatness. Empowering the people to take their communities back. Work in lockstep with law enforcement. We are not going to police our way out of the social issues that we have in our community. Social issues like drug abuse, substance abuse, homelessness, youth violence, gang violence, the breakdown of the family structure, poverty, right? Let's work in lockstep to address these issues, the root causes of crime, right? We're headed in the right direction. I want a more substantive reduction in crime. But I think that, once we got this big ship turned around, because we were headed in the wrong direction, we were headed to an abyss. Now we're turning around, headed in the right direction. Crime is going down. We have law enforcement coming back to Jackson. We're now competitive. We're now getting the vehicles that we need and deserve. I'm very excited about the future. But my litmus test is when I'm out in the community. When I was at that parade last Friday night, I was just overwhelmed by the community. And I didn't realize so many people loved me, and they told me that they loved me at the parade because they see my effort, they see my passion for this city, and it's not fake. You can't fake love and how much you love a city and you love the Jackson Police Department. And it's real because, as I tell my family all the time, and I tell people that are close to me, I'm not here because of me. I'm here because of the men and women who wear the badge and gun. I'm here because we have so many people that depend on me for public safety. And God has been good to me with my 29 years of service. And both of my babies are graduated college. So it's not about me. It's about the people who put their life on the line and the people that depend on us to save them and to help them to have a better quality of life. So I'm fully committed to that.
So you heard it from the chief, and you heard it from me. We love the city of Jackson. You heard it from Police Chief Joseph Wade, and we want y'all to like and subscribe and I know he's a very busy man, and I'm pretty sure he's about to head to another press
Yeah.
conference. So
Yeah,
I want to get him out of here, and thank you.
I appreciate you, Matthew.
I appreciate
Look forward
you.
to coming back on your platform, okay?
Thank you.